Morning team. Wow. Sort that out. That'll do. You can probably tell I haven't checked the mirror yet. That'll do. That'll do. Whatever. So you've woken up and for some reason, all of a sudden, there's just a surge of negative thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations in the body. That sort of tightness, that heaviness, that denseness. And it can manifest mentally, emotionally, physically. And this is soon after waking up. And curiously enough, I've found this happens most often when I've actually slept really well. When I've slept really deeply. It's confusing. Because you would think if you've slept well, you would be well rested and you'd be filled with optimism and energy. You're well rested. You would think you would feel relaxed. And now, curiously, with this phenomena, I find that I wake up and there's just a brief moment where I'm relaxed. I'm just in that peaceful space. Slept well, just wake up like, oh, body's nice and calm, nice and relaxed. And then all of a sudden there's just one little thought, and then another, and then another, and then there's just this, it's almost like you just remember the pain. Maybe that's a way of describing it. And then once you're caught in it, it's hard to get out of. You're suddenly just lost in this mind storm. And then it's tight in the body, and maybe you get tightness in the chest or the stomach or the back or neck or headachy and you feel angry because you were feeling so relaxed and calm, and now here's that old thing again. And this is not just normal bit of worry about the day maybe, or it's not just feeling a bit low, a bit down. This is different. This has got that energy. You'll know it. If you've ever felt it, you'll know what I mean. It's the energy, the old energy, the old darkness, that ancient pain, that ancient pain. It's just why now? Why has this risen up now? And you feel angry, and that anger leads to resentment because the past suddenly comes to the forefront. And you were feeling relaxed, you were feeling healthy, all those plans you had for the day. You're just like, what, where's this come from now? What? You're like, man, not this again. It's that hopelessness, despair. So what to do if that happens? Have you ever found that? Is this something that has happened to you? Let me know in the comments if it has, if you've ever experienced this phenomena. Strangely enough, after I've slept very well, that's when it doesn't happen every time I sleep well, just sometimes. Maybe because in that very deep sleep the mind was fully absent. In that very deep sleep there was no mind, no past. Because in deep sleep there's no past, no future, no mind. And so maybe when on waking, the moment the mind is back on the workbench, the moment the mind has your attention again, it makes up for lost time. Gets revenge. That's a very dark way of looking at it. It's not quite like that, but making up for lost time might be a better way of describing it. So what do you do? What do I do when that happens? If I talk about what I do and what I found most effective, it might help you if you find that this is a common pattern for you as well. So firstly, don't panic. Don't panic. Treating all thoughts and feelings just purely as visitors. It doesn't matter. Whether it's the dark, ancient pain, the anger, the fear, the resentment, the rage, the hatred, the injustice, the horror. Whether it's that, or thinking about, what shall I have for breakfast? Banana? Crunchy nut? Maybe I'll have a Pop-Tart. Both thoughts are just thoughts. Whether it's the dark ancient pain, they did this to me, I did that to them, what am I going to do? Or whether it's the, should I have a banana or some Pop-Tarts? These are all just thoughts and feelings. That's it. That's all they are. Just an image. All thoughts and feelings are temporary. And take advantage of the fact that you've come out of that deep sleep. So the physical side of things, there is a ground of physical being here to work with. So if you've noticed this pain is trying to pull your attention away, just don't get so involved for now. Just go into the body and just breathe deep and just relax, and treating all thoughts and feelings as just the same, really, equal visitors that come into the field of awareness, and then they just move away. That's fine. But when it is that deep, that trigger energy, that trauma energy, treating it with the respect that it needs, because oh wow, there's that again, that's odd. But a sense of curiosity. I find that a relaxed curiosity is one of the most powerful attitudes to take towards this process of healing the mind and body, rather than a fierce analysis. Because that fierce analysis, it reaffirms our habit of needing to know a cause, needing to know the source, needing to figure everything out. It's that analysis. But instead of going into that fierce analytical analysis at this time, just a relaxed curiosity, This is the first hour of the morning. This is a time we're supposed to be just chilled out. There's time for analysis later. If we want to do the head stuff, if we want to figure things out on the relative level, we can do that later. But right now, trying to just enjoy the morning here. So I have found a relaxed curiosity is the best way to approach when something comes into the field of consciousness that has that very powerful negative emotional charge. You almost cannot help but jump right in, to dive right in, because it feels urgent. And it's not. A lot of that old pain will be tied up with fear, and fear always feels urgent. So recognizing it's there, but approaching that understanding with a relaxed curiosity, not trying to ignore it, because ignoring, ignoring in a way makes it stronger. Because by ignoring it, you're almost reaffirming that you don't want it to be there. Ignoring it reaffirms the pain and makes it stronger. Whereas if you just recognize, okay, there it is. I've woken up, I was relaxed, and then all of a sudden, wake up to this. Now this has come back. Huh, strange. Just know that it's there and drop into the body. You've got, as I say, you've got that relaxed ground of being. Just drop into the body, and we're not going to allow this dark cloud to rise up through the body and tighten everything up. Because what happens is, when it's the old pain, the ancient pain, if we give it too much weight and we get too involved, we will re-feel the severity of the pain. And that tends to bring up all of our physical ailments as well, particularly if those ailments are involved. If those physical ailments are related to the emotional and mental pain. What do I mean by that? Allow me to describe it. So let's say you had an anxiety disorder as a child that never got the recognition that it needed. It never got the help. It never got the attention that was required. It was never cared for. And when you were a child, that anxiety always manifested as like feeling sick in the stomach, because you had to bury the feeling. It had no opportunity to be released and validated and healed and soothed in the external world, so you had to bury it, swallow it, and you held it tightly in your guts. And so when you re-experience this old pain, this old trauma that comes in, this emotional trauma that comes in, if you get too involved, you will start to feel that stomach ache again, that sickness, that tightness in the gut. So that's one thing. And that's just one thing. There's so many conditions that can have been created by that ancient trauma that was never validated, seen, healed, soothed at the time. You had to bury it in the body. Many, many conditions. So maybe an old migraine starts to rise up. But it's not the physical ailment, it's the emotional pain, the unresolved, unseen emotional pain that is manifesting physically. Maybe an old injury, particularly if that injury happened around the time of the trauma or caused the trauma, is related to it. Maybe you were in an accident, broke your leg or something like that, it's traumatic. And now this emotion comes back in, and that's weird, my leg starts to ache. Big clue right there. Big clue. And if you are engaged in the process of healing, your body is filled with clues to your past. Filled with keys to your past. Understanding, knowledge, insight. It's all there in the body. So we're not going to jump into the content of the mind. We're not going to jump into the content of the emotions. We just know that they are there. But it's just another thought, just another feeling within the field of consciousness. And this old thing, this old shadow has reappeared, and that is fine. Why is that fine? Shouldn't we be angry? Shouldn't we jump up and start fixing everything? Well, the important thing is to heal. As much as we want to get justice, as much as we feel like being angry is doing something, as long as we feel like, well, as long as I worry enough, then I'm kind of safe. That's a weird kind of trick that the mind plays on you. But if I just worry about things enough, then nothing bad can happen. Oh. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't. If I'm just angry enough, then I'm safe. If I'm worried enough, then I'm safe. If I'm stressed enough, then I'm safe. That's an old pattern that was probably very useful to you at some time. So it's not a sense of feeling guilty about these patterns. Maybe guilt, a big wedge of guilt and shame is a big part of the shadow that's arisen now. It's maybe after sleeping so well, now that you have, this could be a reason for why it happens. If you've slept incredibly well, your mind and body knows that it has the energy to deal with another chunk of the darkness. You have the resources. Because you've slept well, you have the mental, emotional and physical resources to churn through another chunk of the trauma. So the fact that it's arisen, we shouldn't be angry about it. It's actually a good opportunity. It's a good opportunity to heal. We don't need to go into the psychological analysis. We don't need to go into who's to blame. That we can do all of that later, and it is useful. It is useful to do. It's a good thing to do. Because it can inform your behaviour and decisions moving forward. So it is good to do that analysis. But right now, we're trying to heal. And the important thing is to heal. In many ways, even if you got that magical justice, right, it wouldn't heal the pain. Even if say you did something wrong, because that's another big part of it, that guilt and shame. If you finally did apologise to that person and they forgave you, it would be great, but in a weird way, it wouldn't heal the pain. So here's what we can do. We can use this opportunity to heal. The darkness has come to you. You haven't had to go to it. It's come to you, and here it is. Relaxed curiosity, just allow. Now, relaxing the body. Breathing deep. Fully into the present moment. There is no past. Okay? Those events happened. Okay? The experiences you've had are valid, yes. But there is not some location or place known as the past. That's how we tend to think of it. Because if we believe that the past is a physical, tangible place that there is no way of accessing, you have prevented your healing by believing that. Because there's the common way of speaking about it is, well, there's no point dwelling in the past. You can't go back and change things now. What's done is done. What's in the past stays in the past. No, 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 no. Wrong, wrong, wrong. That is not the right way to approach it. Those events happened. The experiences happened. What you are feeling is the fact that those experiences were intense enough to stay in the body. So, in a sense, the past is still happening now. Everything happens now. Now. Now, now, now. The experiences are still happening in the body, and that is what is manifesting as the emotion, the feeling, the sensation. That tightness, that denseness, that heat, that pain, that claustrophobic feeling. It's horrible. It's happening now. There is no such thing as the past. It's still here. So, fully here in the present moment, relaxed curiosity as the pain rises up in the body and mind, emotions. We're not going to feel, oh damn it, just as I was relaxed. We're not going to feel resentful, angry. We're not going to feel guilty. It's not your fault that this pain has risen up. There's nothing you can do about it, okay? It's here. Blown from the dark hill hither to my door. First one, then two. Flakes arrive, and then many more. It has arrived. The messenger of misery has arrived for you. You shouldn't feel guilty, angry, resentful. Relaxed in the present moment and just breathe into it. Relax. And allow this cloud to do whatever it needs to do. If we jump into too much mind activity, we're going to just make it worse. You're going to re-trigger, re-traumatize, re-feel. We're not doing any of that. Just know that it's there, breathing deep, and understanding that this is healing. It's a sense of just feeling what is actually here. In the present moment, it's just a sensation. It's probably one of the least pleasant sensations that you could possibly have. But with that curiosity, just experience, how does it feel now? How does it feel in this moment? And you can even just don't engage with language, don't engage with words. Because there's no need for them. Just feel, but with curiosity. How does it actually feel? When this trigger rises up, how does it feel? There's a denseness, a tightness, maybe, if I was to use words, but I'd if it's just me, if I'm not talking to a camera, I don't use words. I just sort of feel what is here. And it has this weird... It's an almost impossible to describe sensation, but you can feel healing. You know, like if you've ever had a physical wound, like a cut or something, you know, you can feel it when it's healing. It's almost like it's hot and itchy almost. It's halfway between a tickling sensation, an itching sensation, slightly, not burning, but hot. But you can just feel, oh, it's healing. Ah, that cut is healing. It's healing nicely. It's like that, but on an emotional level. I can feel the darkness. I can feel that tightness. I can feel that pain. Mentally, physically, emotionally, but I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to shrink from it. I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to feel guilty about it. I'm not going to feel angry or resentful about it. I just know that it's here. I breathe and allow. Allow, allow, allow. And all of a sudden, it's not that big a deal. I'd rather it wasn't there. But it is there. Okay, that's alright. Like, if the sky is a beautiful blue, clear, sunny day, but there's one cloud in the sky, everyone would notice that cloud. And let's say that cloud just happens to kind of drift in front of the sun. Even though the rest of the sky is completely blue, it's just this one cloud that has obscured, temporarily and briefly, has obscured the entire beautiful day. And you go, ugh. But you just sort of accept that it's there. You're just in the shade for a bit now. Okay, we'll be in dark for a bit. And then the cloud passes and we just don't really worry about that. Now, even though that happened, the dark cloud drifted in front of the sun and then eventually passed. It could have even stayed for an hour. Let's say that cloud stayed for an hour. When you get to the end of the day, you would still say that it was a sunny day. You wouldn't remember the cloud. So, you've woken up and had that trigger. whatever it was. Maybe there was no cause, maybe you saw something, heard something, just a thought, or it just came rushing in out of deep sleep, all relaxed, and then suddenly you got that. We just approach it with relaxed curiosity, don't get too involved, just breathe into it, present moment only, and use this as an opportunity to dissolve the cloud. How's this going to help and how's this going to work? Well, by doing this practice repeatedly, every single time it happens, it starts to become automatic. It's standard practice. It just becomes so automatic. You wake up, oh, that's weird. Oh, that's a shame. It's that trigger again. I thought I was going to have a nice relaxed morning. Oh, there's that energy again. But because you've trained yourself now, you've trained your being and spirit to respond in this way, it's not a problem. And because it's not a problem, there's less negative emotional charge to the phenomena occurring. It just is. And then you're going to feel less angry, you're going to feel less resentful, you're going to feel less guilty, you're going to feel less shame, you're going to feel less. Just, it will lose the bite, it'll lose the venom, it'll lose the sting. It's just another thing. And then you start to realize, wow, the liberation of that. The liberation of applying pure, open, empty, conscious awareness to the situation without giving anything a name, just feeling the sensation as it is. Even the deepest, darkest emotional pain is just another feeling. The liberation of that, the freedom of that is worth more than any paycheck. Because I know if you've suffered from this, if you've been feeling this, you would do anything to get rid of it. If you don't know some practices to overcome this. And you find that the more you heal this dark, dense cloud, even when it arises within you, it's less severe each time. Because you know the response now. So you don't have this automatic, traumatized response. You have a healthy, conscious response. I hope I've explained that okay today. The key, ultimately, is to always abide as and remember that you are the infinite, pure, conscious awareness that is aware of all feelings and thoughts. Then you don't get lost in them. Then you are not powerless. This is where your power comes from, is the fact that the infinite, pure, open, empty, clear, spacious consciousness doesn't suffer any of this, can't be harmed by any of this, isn't damaged. You're not damaged. You're not. Isn't that great? You're not damaged. You're not scarred. It'll all heal. It'll all heal. Remain as the open, empty, infinite consciousness and just relaxed curiosity, allow all to flow through. In time, it won't happen. You'll just realise, you'll just have gone years and you'll just go, oh yeah, that thing hasn't happened, that thing that used to happen. Anyway, that's everything for today, team. I hope some of that was useful, hope some of that was helpful. Or, as always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe for more of this sort of content. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope some of this can be actionable and it's practical and proactive for you. Take care, be well, and stay present.